let's talk about some books. Hello and welcome back to Alexandria Loves Books. Hi, welcome if you're new here. My name is Alexandria and I happen to like books. No, dare say I love them. This year, my goal is to read 100 books in 2025. I read my 51st book this morning. Well, I finished it this morning. I've been reading it for like a week. So I am 51% through my goal. I am on track. I think I'm 2 books ahead, which is awesome. So let's talk about my 6 months in books. Also, this is my POV as I film.
My buttons, you gonna watch me? Yeah, you gonna watch? Yeah, come here.
We're gonna make you a book girly. This is Buttons. She is my friend's dog and I am dog sitting for the weekend.
You're gonna lay on top of my pillows? Okay.
You're so cute. Okay, let's get into it. I will leave all of the questions in the description box in case you would like to do this tag yourself. Answer all these questions in the comments. I'd love to hear how your year in books is looking so far. I already know this is going to be a chatty Cathy video, so let's get right into it. And I will say there are some repeats of answers. Like I've tried to make my answers different books, but a lot of them overlap. Best book you've read so far in 2025. I've had a few 5-star reads, but the ones that just refuse to leave my heart, mind, soul, body, spirit, A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin. I don't think these books, these characters, these plots will ever leave my mind. I'm obsessed, and they are the best books I've read so far this year out of the 51 books I've read, without a doubt. Wow. If I think too much on it, I will either cry or fall in love even more with a fictional person. So sorry, we're having a repeat right off the bat because the next question, the best sequel you've read in 2025. A Court of Mist and Fury, of course. I don't think I've ever read a series where the second book was better than the first, but that is the case with ACOTAR. And I feel like that's a common opinion. The first book, meh. I honestly was like, why is everyone obsessed with this? I don't get it. And then I read the second book, and now I get it. This is the best sequel. Holy crap. And if you have only read ACOTAR, the first book, and you're like, what's the point? I don't get it. I don't even like it. I was there. I go watch that video on my channel, Reading ACOTAR. Once I read this one, I realized why the first book was what it was. You're not meant to feel certain ways in that book, and there's a reason. Trust the process. A new release you haven't read yet but want to. I have a lot because I have not been buying the releases I'm excited for the past few months because I am moving this month and it's going to cost so much money for me to ship all of my books across the country. So I've been having some self-control and I've been avoiding buying books. And so once I move, I'm going to be buying a lot of books, which include One Golden Summer. I need to read that. I need to read it so badly. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I love her books so much. Her magical realism, her I don't know, character development, and the relationships she writes. I'm obsessed and I love them so much. They always make me feel so connected. Oh, she's rolling around. I'm gonna get really distracted throughout this entire video just watching her. Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. For some reason, I've felt like I need to read it or else the world will implode. I need to read it. It sounds so fun and so good. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. King of Envy by Anna Huang. I wasn't sure if I was like actively wanting to read it because I don't like the other books in the series. This is the 5th book, but Larry Reed's convinced me because she also doesn't really like this series that much, but King of Envy really hit for her, so I'm hoping it'll hit for me. The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I want to read that so bad. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and The Tenant by Frida McFadden. So those are a few that I really want to read but haven't yet, and I bet there's more. Going along with releases, the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have a few, of course. First, of course, Wild Card by L.T. Silver. This is the 4th and final book in the Rose Hill series. It comes out September 9th, and I pre-ordered a signed copy. I'm so excited. I can't wait to read that one, along with Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey. That's the 4th book in the Big Shot series. I know that her writing is not for everyone, but I eat it up. I love it so much. It just, when I'm in the mood for it, which is honestly a lot, I eat it up and I love it so much. So I'm excited for that one. Also in September, actually all 3 of my anticipated releases for the second half of the year are coming out in September. The best month, my birth month. The other one is Soul Searching by Lila Sage. This is starting her new series. I think it's a duology. I forget what the series name is called, but it's like a paranormal romance, and I'm so excited to read that. What has been the biggest surprise? I have one that's like a good surprise, and then I have one that was a disappointment. So starting off with the good surprise, book lovers. If you watched my reading vlog of this, or you just know me, or have heard me talk about it in other videos, I read Beach Read like 2 years ago and I hated it. I think I read it too early on in my reading journey that I just like wasn't there yet to like read an Emily Henry book and to like appreciate it for all that it is. And so I held a grudge for 2 years. I gave her books a second chance by reading Book Lovers, and I loved it. I loved it so much. Her like I could appreciate her writing because now I've been reading more consistently for the past few years. I look for different things now in my books, and I can also appreciate different things than I could then. And this just, it hit so hard. I love the romance. I love the characters. I loved the character arcs that they went through just in their own lives, but then also together. And it hit really hard. And the writing was beautiful. Holy crap. The biggest disappointment, Every Summer After. There are books that I've rated less than this. I think I rated it 2.5. I've rated books this year 1 and 2 stars, but this was a huge disappointment and surprise because the other ones I wasn't expecting much, and then they just let me down, but whatever. This one I was expecting to love it because when this came out, like, it was so popular. Everyone loved it. I read The Summer Will Be Different last summer, and I didn't like love it, but I really enjoyed it. So I was really looking forward to this one. And throughout the first bit of it, I was loving it. I loved the nostalgic summer vibes. I loved the childhood friends to lovers. I loved the second chance aspect. I felt connected to them, and I felt emotionally connected to them and wanting them to succeed and get back together and overcome their conflicts. And then I learned about the conflict. And I think I read this in the Alphabet Chooses My Reads video. If you're interested in hearing more about my thoughts on it, I highly recommend you watch that video because I don't have like a meltdown, but I get really pissed off. And I kind of go on this rant that I had to edit down, and it's already like a long bit in the video, but the raw footage was so long of me just being like, this is not okay, and here is why, without spoiling it. So it really pissed me off. I found this unforgivable. If you're gonna create a resolution, it needs to be written stronger than the resolution was in this. So this really let me down. No barking, please. Quiet on set. I said quiet on set, Miss Ma'am. We don't need to bark at cars or other dogs or people opening their apartment doors. Well, this is my roof, my rules. You pay the rent. Favorite new author, either debut or new to you. My 2 favorite authors that I've like discovered for myself this year has to be Sarah J. Maas. Obviously. Are we that surprised? No. The more that I read in this series, the more I'm like, holy crap, how did you think of this? But also I think it's really written so well, and I just eat it up and I'm obsessed. The other author that I found this year, or well, I've heard of her, but I hadn't read of her yet. Read her work. I'm not very eloquent. Catherine Cowles. I started the Sparrow Falls series this year, and I eat it up. It's small town romantic suspense. I sometimes need to be like in the mood for it. I can't just like pick it up whenever, but this is becoming one of my favorite series. I enjoy it so much, and it just really hits the spot. So I really enjoy her writing. I will say each book is kind of following the same formula, so I don't recommend you read them like too close together because you will kind of be like bored of it. But when you read it just like every so often, like a book at a time, like throughout a few months, like it just hits so hard. So I really like Catherine Cowles' writing. Once I finish the series, I will definitely be reading more of her work. Who is your newest fictional crush? Rhysand. Sorry, we're having repeats in this video. Rhysand, 100%. I love this man. I will say, while I read the Happy Ever After playlist and Dream Girl drama, I had fictional crushes on Jason and Sig as I read it, but I don't think about them the way that I think about Rhys. Rhys lives right in here, and he ain't going nowhere. Love of my life. Thinking about scenes with Rhys make me cry tears of love. So it just hits different. I enjoy these men, but they don't compare. And they never will. No one will. A book that made you cry, I have a few. The first one Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This was my first 5-star read of the year. I bawled like a baby while reading this and after I finished it. And if I think too hard about it, I will cry again because I love these characters and I want the best for them, and I want Evelyn Hugo to have the marriage that she deserves and that she wanted. And Taylor Jenkins Reid seems to have that effect on me because One True Loves by her also made me sob. This is sad fiction. But it's so good, it's so good. In this one, Emma marries her high school sweetheart, and then like a year into their marriage, he ends up like going to this trip to Alaska, and then his helicopter crashes and everyone is found dead. And so then she moves home and she, you know, tries to heal, and she ends up falling in love with a new man, and they're engaged when she gets the call from her husband, who is not dead, who has been surviving for years out in like the middle of nowhere, and he's been found. So she's married, but didn't know it, thought she was a widow, and is engaged. It hits you in the heartstrings. This is one of my favorite books. And then I won't go too much into it because we've already heard me talk about it enough, but both A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings of Ruin made me cry, which you can see in the reading vlogs. Yeah, the endings of both of them made me cry. Tears of fear, sadness, and joy. Do with that what you will. And by that, I mean read the series if you haven't already. A book that made you happy, it's gonna be a Sarah Adams book every time. Every time. This one is Beg, Borrow, or Steal, the third book in the When in Rome series. This is Emily and Jack. It's like nemesis to lovers. They've been nemesis since college, and now they are colleagues. They're both second grade teachers, and it takes place over the summer, and she accidentally sends her manuscript of her romance novel to the principal, their boss, and he helps her to get it back. Her books are fluffy, but they still have depth, and so it's just the perfect like palate cleanser, a good pick-me-up after a fantasy novel, or just, you know, if you're in a reading slump. I feel like most likely like Sarah Adams will get you out of it. I always describe all of her books as like a cupcake in a book. It's just so happy. Like you can't not be happy while reading her books. They're funny, they're silly, they're goofy. They are just filled with just humanity and just connection and love, and I love it so much. Another one is the Happy Ever After playlist that comes to mind. I feel like Abby Jimenez's stories, they definitely, I feel like they are very emotionally depthful. I always say that, but I don't think that's a real word. Depthful? I don't know. They will make you cry, and they just get really emotional. So this one like kind of is, like has heavy moments at times, but overall, like I think it's a very happy story. It made me happy seeing Sloane get the story and the love story that she deserved, because she's just been through a lot. So like that made me really happy. But I would say overall, like Sarah Adams is more of like a happy type book than Abby Jimenez, but they are still happy. They are sweet, charming romances. So you can't go wrong with that. Most beautiful book you bought so far this year or received? I have a few. Wild and Wrangled. I would say like all of the books in the series, but this is the only one that I bought this year. I love these covers. I don't know what this is called, but it's like this texture, but it's kind of like a comic book-esque type situation of like style of art, and it's so gorgeous. And this one's at like the sunset, and each book, the cover is like a different time of day, of like nighttime or midday or dawn or the sunset, and they're just so beautiful. I love these covers. Another one, I haven't read this yet, but it was my book of the month in April. I think this cover is just so fun. I love how colorful it is. I just love the city. Like this just feels so warm and summery, and I think it's beautiful. And then also the Sparrow Fall series. I think all of these covers are so beautiful. It's just like kind of like tie-dye-esque, but like nature, and they each have like a different type of like animal or insect, depending on the book, that have to do with the story. And I just think it's so beautiful, especially like I don't know if this is called foiling, but like you see it's like shiny, and then they all have sprayed edges that match like kind of like one of the colors in the cover. I just think these are really, really pretty. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have a lot. One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I've had this on my physical TBR for so long, and it's been put on so many monthly TBRs and I never get to it. It was on my June TBR and I wanted to get to it, but just time did not allow it. This is the only book I didn't get to on my June TBR. This is an urban fantasy in New York City with like rival witch families, like Romeo and Juliet type situation and vibes, and I want to read it. I just haven't gotten to it. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love all of her books. I think all of them are 5 stars, if not most of them. And this is August 1983. This like a famous family, I think, their end of summer party, and I just have been putting it off for so long, and it's been on my physical TBR for like 1.5 to 2 years, so I need to read it this summer. Ruthless Vows. I've been putting this off for so many months. It's been a long time. I liked Divine Rivals, the first book in this duology, but I didn't love it. And then people were saying this one just like wasn't as good. The romance was like not really heavy. It was more politics based, which is fine, but I need romance in my fantasy and just in all my books in general. And I didn't really care too much about the politics and the war and everything in the first book. So like that's mainly what this book is. Like I'm put off by it, but I want to read it this year and just be done with this duology. Unravel Me by Becca Mack, the 3rd book in the Playing for Keeps series, the hockey romance series. I read the first 2 and I really enjoyed both of them. I just keep putting this off because of the length, which is stupid, but I do. That's pretty much why. But I want to like keep finishing series, so I really want to get to this year. And then for a similar reason, Unlucky Like Us by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the 12th book in the Like Us series out of 13, and I've been putting it off for the length. But I really want to continue and finish the series this year because this is the spin-off series off of the Addicted Callaway series, which I have not read. I want to read that once I finish the series, and then a second spin-off series, so 3 series in general following the same like families. I mean, it's different main characters each time, but still this is following the children as adults, though, the children of the Addicted Callaway characters. And so there's a lot of cousins and kids in this family that are now adults. And so the next spin-off series, Cobalt Empire, I want to say it's called, I'm not fully sure, that comes out in I think September, and I would love to have this finished by then. How many 5-star reads have you had? I have had 6. The first one was 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. As I said, I felt so connected to these characters. I really want the best for them, and Evelyn went through so much to get where she got in her career, and also just getting out of her situation from before she became famous, and all of the different marriages, and it's so good. Read this book if you haven't already. My next one was Breaking Free from Body Shame by Jess Connolly. This is a Christian nonfiction book, and I loved it. Body image is always something that I've struggled with my entire life, and it is so hard because you could one day be like, no, like I'm proud of my body, like it helps me, you know, do things, and I can walk and I can move and I can dance and I can jump and I can like live life and make memories because my body is functioning and it's working to keep me alive. And then other days hating on your body for not looking like models and people on Instagram, and it can be really hard, especially when people in your life make comments and things. So I love this book because there's a Christian perspective on our body and how God created us, and viewing ourselves as God's creation while also making sure we're taking care of ourselves. Because it's kind of a spectrum. It's like you don't want to be like, oh, don't take care of yourself at all, and just like love yourself as you, like, yeah, love yourself as you are, but without the aspect of taking care of yourself, because like that's one extreme. The other extreme is like take care of yourself only to look a certain way, and you need to look this way, and your worth is determined by how you look, and if you have a small waist and whatever. And it's like no to both of those, and we can meet somewhere in the middle and be like, I'm gonna take care of myself because I love my body as it is, and I want to keep it functioning and healthy. And sometimes that might result in losing weight or like gaining muscle, but who cares how it looks? And other times that means my body won't change. Maybe it even gains weight, and that is a good thing. It's just like, take care of our bodies to just take care of them and keep them alive and functioning, and how they look, no matter what, is beautiful to God, and that's what matters. It doesn't matter what people on Instagram think. It doesn't matter what even our friends and family think, because I know, oh, hello, yeah? I don't fully know what sentence I was on, but I think you get the point. Haters gonna hate, but God loves you. Moral of the story. Next, Dream Girl drama. This is definitely not a 5-star for everyone, but for me it is. It hits so hard. This is forbidden romance or love, insta love, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but Tessa Bailey just does it for me. The characters, they meet one night and they're immediately like, there's a connection between us. Like, this person is like, I can tell they're important. And then that same night they find out that their parents are getting married and they're like, oh crap, we're about to be step siblings, oh my gosh. And so I really enjoyed that the conflict wasn't between the characters and it was like an external conflict that they had to like figure out together. I really enjoyed it. I love them together. Sig and what's her name? I don't even remember her name, Chloe. But still, 5 stars. Next, One True Loves. As you heard, I cried like a baby and it just hit so hard. I read this so quickly. I love it and I definitely plan on reading more Taylor Jenkins Reid. And then we won't go too much into it, but of course, A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin, obviously. What books do you want to reread this year? I never do rereads. I want to do rereads, but then I'm always like, but I have such a big physical TBR that like, I should read that instead of rereading. But I would like to reread at least like 1 book this year. And my top contenders are both Elsie Silver, because I love Elsie Silver, Flawless, the first book in the Chestnut Springs series, and Wild Love, the first book in the Rose Hill series. I read this book almost 2 years ago, and so the details are a little blurry in my mind, so I would love to reread this. And it would feel like a first read because it's been so long. And then Wild Love, this was, I think, my first and only 6-star read, but it's also a little bit blurry because I read it a year ago, and so I would love to just get a refresher on it, and I would love to just like be in these characters' minds again. That's a creepy way to say that. I cannot feel my foot. I'm hitting my foot, cannot feel it. A book you enjoyed with mixed reviews. I picked Daydream for this one by Hannah Grace, the third and I believe final book in the Maple Hills series. I put this off for so long because I heard so many mixed reviews about it. I heard some people really loved it, but then also I heard some people that said it did not hit like the previous books and it just like wasn't good and whatever. I finally read it and I loved it. I loved Hallie and Henry. I feel like they are very different compared to the typical romance novel couple, and they just fit with each other so well, and I love that they are like best friends first and foremost, and that really builds like a strong foundation for their relationship. And so I love them. I love them a lot. And that's why you can't let mixed reviews tell you if you should or shouldn't read a book. And now I'm thinking like, okay, that's partly why I'm not reading Ruthless Vows, is because of the mixed reviews. I should practice what I preach. That's what I should do. 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. Obviously, A Court of Silver Flames. Not considering the novella, the 2 previous books were 5 stars, so I can't imagine this being not 5 stars, or like at least a 4.5 at least, but we'll see. Maybe it'll surprise me. I do plan on reading this very soon, so we will find out very shortly. I also think Onyx Storm will be a 5-star read. I've been putting it off just because I know that the next one won't come out for a while, and so I wanted to like kind of space it out, but I'll probably still need a refresher by the time the 4th one comes out. But Fourth Wing and Iron Flame are both 5-star reads for me. I love them both so much, and I can't wait to get back in this world. I don't know when, but I think this will be 5 stars. And then I have 2 other predictions that I really don't know, but I could see them being 5 stars. First is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This just seems like very reminiscent of like some of my comfort reads from when I was like younger, and everyone and their mother seems to love this series. So I could see this being a 5 stars. It's not a book where I'm like, oh, it's definitely gonna be 5 stars. I don't really know, but I could see this being a really high rating. Same with Addicted to You by Kristen Becker Ritchie. Like I said, the first book in the Addicted Calloway series that I'm not starting until I finish the Like Us series. I love the Like Us series, and so I've read about these characters as like older adult parents to the Like Us characters. So I've already have like, I feel connected to them already, and I can't wait to actually know their stories and how they fell in love and what they went through. So I could see this being a 5 star. And lastly, a series you want to finish before the end of the year. Well, I have lots because I've been on a finishing series journey this entire year. Like I mentioned, I want to finish the Like Us series. I've been putting them off because of their lengths. This one's like 560. This one is like, I don't know, 900? Sorry, 759. It's a lot. And they're big books too. It's not like they're like short. No, it's a lot. So I really want to finish these 2 books in this series before starting into Calloway and then the Cobalt Empire, or whatever that next new spin-off series is. Like I also mentioned, I want to read Unravel Me, but also Fall With Me, the last book in a series. I started this 4-book series back in October, and it's July, and about to be July, and I've only read 2 books. This 4-book series cannot take me a year, so I really want to finish this series this year. I also want to finish the Natural series. I just have Bad Blood, and then there is a little novella at the back of Bad Blood. There is the novella called 12. So I just have this book and then the novella, and then that'll finish another series, which would be awesome. Of course, like I said, I want to read Ruthless Vows, finish the Letters of Enchantment. I want to finish this duology. And then I also want to finish the Bromance Book Club series. I've only read the first 2 books. This is a 5-book series. It's like a 3-star series for me. So it's not amazing, but I do enjoy it and it is like fun. The 5th book is a holiday romance. So I would like to read the 3rd and 4th book leading like within the next few months. That way I can finish the series around the holidays and then read the holiday book then. Because if I, finish the 4th book in, I don't know, March of next year or something, I don't know, I'm not gonna want to read the holiday book until the end of 2026. And I don't want to have to wait that long because I started this in December of 2022. So already it's been 2.5 years of me in the middle of the series. So I need to get a move on. Come here, come here. It's okay. Thank you for protecting us. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, thanks. I love when she rests her head on my shoulder. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your 2025 year in books is looking like halfway through the year. I'm excited to see what the second half of the year brings. I think I'll definitely reach my goal because I'm already over halfway, baby. No. Hey, people are allowed to go in and out of their apartments. Okay, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Love ya. Happy reading. It's okay.
Sunset whispers in the breeze.